Welcome. Thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gomansing. Topping our newscast tonight, former tax commissioner Louis Willis is in the spotlight again, this time facing charges of money laundering during his time as manager of the legislature. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
Well, there's more trouble for the former head of the IRB and the legislature. This time, the federal government has gotten involved, charging Louis Willis with bribery and extortion. A federal grand jury indicted Willis Thursday for accepting bribes and engaging in extortion over contracts for the legislature. The U.S. Attorney's Office released a statement making the announcement. The indictment charges the 56-year-old Willis with 3 counts of federal programs bribery and 3 counts of extortion under color of official right. Willis, widely known as Lolo Willis, was the executive director of the legislature between 2009 and 2012. He was responsible for overseeing the renovation of the Senate's building. The indictment alleges that Willis awarded a number of contracts for general construction, carpentry, and air conditioning services, none of which were publicly bid. It also alleges that Willis accepted thousands of dollars in cash from 3 contractors in exchange for using his authority to make sure they got the contracts and that they got paid after the work was done. Willis was just arrested in February and charged in VI Superior Court with tax evasion. Both the IRS and the VI's Bureau of Internal Revenue worked together to investigate the case. Willis, along with the owner of a local construction company, are accused of conspiring to evade or defeat taxes, 1 count of fraud, and providing false statements. Willis served as the director of the Internal Revenue Bureau for 6 years, starting in 2000, before retiring and then taking the position with the legislature in 2009. Erica Parsons, News 2.
The FBI, the VI Inspector General's Office, and the IRS's Criminal Division all worked together to investigate the case. Port Authority's Executive Director Carlton Dow and former Senator Celestino White Sr. are fighting back against the publication that spread rumors of their arrest. As News 2 reported Thursday, both men denied claims that they were arrested this week. The online publication Virgin Islands News Online, out of the BVI, carried an article on May 7th claiming both Dow and White had been detained. The two have hired an attorney who sent a letter to the managing editor of the website. In it, they say the article may have caused irreparable damage to White and Dow's reputation and character. They request that the article be removed immediately and a correction with apology issued in its place. They are reserving the right to pursue legal action. The article has since been taken down. Well, exciting news. The St. Croix Educational Complex has been recommended for full re-accreditation by the Middle States Association in Colleges and Schools. The recommended term is for 7 years, up to 2021. Complex was visited this week by a 5-member validation team from Middle States, which presented an oral report of their findings earlier today to the school's administrators and staff, along with St. Croix district officials. During the review process, Middle States looks at how each school meets its 12 standards of quality, and the self-study is conducted to highlight both the school's strengths as well as areas in need of improvement. Visiting team members interview everyone from the students and staff to parents and community members involved in activities on the school's campus. Well, 45 students from the Joseph Sibley Elementary School learned some things about criminal justice during a tour of the Alexander Farrelly Criminal Justice Complex today. The tour was a collaborative effort between the BOC, VIPD, and the Family Court Division of Superior Court. The event was held in recognition of Corrections Week and VI Police Week. Now, the tour began from about 9 a.m. and after a quick lunch break continued until 1. Well, the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority announces possible electrical service interruptions to small sections of St. Thomas feeders as warranted. The authority is currently experiencing complications with Unit 23 and may be forced to rotate service interruptions to pockets of feeders as the need arises for approximately 2 hours at a time in order to ensure stability of the system. Rotations will be conducted in a manner to ensure service is retained by as many residential and commercial customers as possible. Advance notice will be given of feeders selected for rotation. The authority apologizes for any inconvenience caused by these emergency interruptions and will do their best to minimize the inconvenience to customers. Officials from the VI Department of Health say they have confirmed a case of Neisseria meningitis that resulted in a death in the territory. A statement issued Thursday by Health Commissioner Darius Plaskett says officials from the department have been in contact with the family to implement control measures. They received antibiotics to prevent them from getting sick and to prevent an outbreak. It's also known as meningitis. It's when the lining of the brain and spinal cord have become infected with the bacteria. The bacteria is spread through the exchange of respiratory and throat secretions such as cough, spit, and kissing. Symptoms include high fever, headache, and stiff neck, and can appear 2 to 10 days after infection. Meningitis can be treated with antibiotics. Healthcare providers are asked to report suspected and confirmed cases. Count on News 2 to keep you updated. We'll have more on this story. Governor John P. DeYoung Jr. led a delegation of Virgin Islands officials to the British Virgin Islands on Thursday as the 6th Inter-Virgin Islands Council meeting was convened in Tortola. The meeting provided the opportunity for both DeYoung and BVI Premier Dr. Orlando Smith to formally receive updates from the Council's various subcommittees on developments in areas of law enforcement, pleasure boating and sports, fishing, tourism, energy, education, and cultural preservation. The Inter-Virgin Islands Council was formed out of a memorandum of understanding, which was executed by the leaders of both territories in 2004. The Council established 12 standing committees, which meets regularly in both territories.
I think what I'm most proud of today is the fact that we've fostered by our relationships, both at the IVIC but also with our Friendship Day activities, a collaboration that allows us really to discuss the most difficult subjects. And I think that the maturity of where we have advanced, it shows in those discussions that take place that we're comfortable enough with each other to be able to expose ourselves both to the concerns and to the criticisms. And I think that is what will make the Virgin Islands, whether UK or US or British, a very powerful area. We're territories of less than 160,000 people. And to me, and what has driven me for a very long time, is that there's no reason that we can't be the best practices of what takes place.
Turn our attention overseas. More than 200 Nigerian schoolgirls who have been missing for more than 3 weeks, and many there are frustrated with the government and the slow response. Now, U.S. and British teams are arriving in the country to help with that search. Craig Boswell has the story from the White House.
In Nigeria, Enoch Mark waits.
It's very painful.
His 2 daughters were among the more than 200 schoolgirls the Islamic extremist group Boko Haram kidnapped last month.
Bring back our girls!
Halfway around the world, demonstrators near the White House shout out their support for the girls. They are hopeful the U.S. can help.
We are the military. Where is the police forces? With the presence of America, United Nations, I think we are more powerful than Boko Haram.
A Pentagon team of about 50 security experts is already at the U.S. Embassy assisting the Nigerian government. FBI and Justice Department personnel are arriving as well. U.S. personnel won't be combing through the brush looking for the girls. They'll be using communications and other intelligence expertise to support the Nigerian search.
The folks that we're sending down, their principal job is advise and assess.
U.S. intelligence officials believe the girls are being held in small groups, and they may have already been smuggled into nearby Chad and Cameroon.
Even 100 years to come, it will be in our mind, in our remembrance. We will be thinking that our daughters are still alive, and we're eager to see them if possible.
Enoch Mark says he will never give up hope. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
Now, Saturday morning, First Lady Michelle Obama will talk about the missing girls during the president's weekly address. Keeping our eye on the economy, here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all up. The Dow 32, Nasdaq 20, S&P 2. Coming up on News 2, with the start of the hurricane season less than a month away, the hurricane hunters have taken up residence on St. Croix again. Meanwhile, how much longer can we expect the wet weather? Our News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up. The University of the Virgin Islands is the recipient of a $900,000 federal grant that will allow the institution to develop and implement a substance abuse and HIV prevention program. The goal of the program will be to reduce drug use and abuse and prevent the transmission of HIV infections among college students and other young adults in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration, which is a branch of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, they're providing $300,000 per year for 3 years through its Division of Community Programs to support the territory-wide effort. Well, in other news, congratulations, the Superior Court Rising Stars Youth Steel Orchestra left the VI on Wednesday on a mission to travel to Virginia Beach to highlight the musical roots of the steel band phenomenon and to use the opportunity to showcase the youth of the Virgin Islands to a broader audience. The VI band will compete against other steel pan groups at the 12th annual Panorama Caribbean Music Fest, which will be held from May 9th to the 10th at Virginia Beach Convention Center in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Now, the band took the spotlight today around 4 p.m. We will let you know how they did. The PCMF is a celebration of Caribbean culture. Meanwhile, congratulations goes out to the E. Benjamin Oliver Steel Owl Steel Band Combo. Now, they made a big splash at the Heritage Music Festival in Orlando, Florida, bringing home the first place trophy in the steel drum category and the Grand Champion Trophy for instrumental for the entire competition. Congrats to the director, Shani King Pickering, assistant director, arranger, and EBO principal, Dr. Louis Hasselheptis. And of course, congratulations to all the students. Well, don't forget Mom on Sunday. Mother's Day celebrates motherhood, and it's also a time to appreciate mothers and mother figures. Many people give gifts, cards, flowers, candy, a meal in a restaurant, or other treats to their mothers and mother figures, including the grandmothers, great-grandmothers, stepmothers, and foster mothers. Common Mother Day gifts are flowers, chocolate, candy, clothing, jewelry, and treats, such as a beauty treatment or a trip to a spa. So all of those are some great ideas. Some families organize an outing for all of their members or hold a special meal at home or in a restaurant. Many schools also help pupils in advance to prepare a handmade card or small gift for their mothers. So happy Mother's Day in advance to all the mothers in the territory. Now, don't forget, Tourism Month events continue. They have been taking place since Monday. Now, today, Friday, Brian Williams held his customer service training at the Marriott's. On St. Croix, there was a visitor's appreciation at the Henry Wilson Airport. Now, tomorrow, looking forward, on Saturday on St. John, it's a cultural fair at the Franklin Powell Park. That's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then on Sunday, May 25th, on St. Thomas, there's a farmer's market in Bordeaux, and that's going on from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Well, as we just mentioned, with the start of hurricane season less than a month away, the hurricane hunters have taken up residence on St. Croix again. Every year, members of the Air Force Reserve's 53rd Reconnaissance Squadron are deployed to the Big Island to prepare for the Atlantic hurricane season. This week, the team has been getting supplies in place that will help them gather data from the National Hurricane Center to use. The hunters fly into storms to investigate details of the weather disturbance. Meteorologists have predicted a below-average forecast this season. And speaking of which, be sure to stick around. Your News2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.